son to a basketball game, so that was helpful because, and supportive. But he has been so supportive from the very, very beginning, and in different ways. So one way is, and I can think back to, gosh, a while ago when my calendar was just kind of plummeting. You've probably all heard that, like, I've got no parties on my calendar. They've probably cried and things like that. One thing he did was, like, instead of throwing, like, you know how this business works, or anything like that, he was like, let's just talk about it. Like, what happened? And he was like, you love this. You love your job. And he actually sat with me and brainstormed people, like a Frankie list. Like, I hadn't done a Frankie list in about 2 years, and he sat there and came up with names of people that I couldn't think of, people like he worked with that their wives would probably love it. And he just sat there, and it just brought me up. Like, I was just like, okay, like, I can do this. I'm not in this alone. This isn't, and that was one thing. And then just recently, I've been, again, because our calendars, they will go up and down. And your spouses may, their personality may go up and down with it because it's very, it can get hard. But, he knows, and just the other day, I got really upset because I did something stupid. We had a whole bunch of people coming over to our house in January, a bunch of the senior leaders for something, and the day that Chris sent out an invitation to everybody, I got something in the mail saying I was supposed to be in Charlotte that night for a Norwex vending event that I paid over $1,000 for. And I was almost in tears, and I was like, what am I going to do? I can't not do that. And everyone is now coming, and this is really important. And I was just freaking out, and he just was like, Laura, he's like, you need to go to Charlotte, right? And I'm like, yes, but they have to come here. He's like, I got this. And he's like, let them come. I will get everything ready before they get here. And, he's like, it'll be fine. He's like, what time do you think you can get home? Like, really? And then he was like, you said you had a girl that could take part of the shift. Could you just have her go and take the part of the shift? And then, you can get home for, part of it. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just so nice to have that. So just be thinking of that. Like, when your wife is melting down, and instead of telling her, like, I told you so, or whatever, because sometimes I swear I'm waiting for that from him, because I feel like I would probably do that to him. And he just, he's just there to come help me, like, strategize and figure out a way. So if you can just help your wife, it's okay, and help her figure it out, I think it will go far. And she will be able to go really far with this. And then, she'll earn you trips like Hawaii. So, all right.
I'm Melanie Goggins. I'm a Vice President Sales Leader. November was my 4th anniversary with Norwex, which was 4 years longer than I expected I would be doing it. I was always really anti-direct sales. I never had a good experience. I hated going to people's parties. I didn't like how my friends would sign up with something and turn super salesy on their Facebook all of a sudden, and there was nothing about it that I liked until Chris came to a party that I really reluctantly had hosted with a friend. And no one showed up for her except for one guest, and it actually meant that I got to hear all about Norwex and ask questions as they were coming up. And I went upstairs afterwards to my husband and I said, Andrew, what would you think of maybe, possibly I was thinking about maybe doing this? He just laughed. And I watched and he goes, you're kidding, right? You hate things like this. I was like, I know, but this is different. And one of the things that drew me to it was, and I told him, I feel like Norwex meets a need instead of creating one. So he said, well, if you really think this is worthwhile, let's look into it, see what questions we have, and if you want to sign up, I support you doing that. So I said, okay, I don't know that I actually want to, but let's just look at it. So 3 days later, I signed up. I didn't own any Norwex, but he's been there every step of the way. In those 4 years, we've had 2 kids and 2 miscarriages. We have 5 kids total now, 3 girls, 2 boys. I have really terrible pregnancies, really, really bad ones. And Andrew has supported me the whole way through. He supported me through right shortly after I signed up, his job downsized and he was let go. So it kind of became this could I do it? I'll just kind of see what happens, to, okay, what do I need to do to make this work? And he's been there the whole way. And we got to a point where I couldn't do home parties. So he's like, okay, well, Facebook, is that an option? And he's been there the whole way through as I've learned how to do Facebook parties without knowing anyone else doing Facebook parties, without, being to any Norwich Facebook parties. He's helped me brainstorm, he's helped me think through. After our 5th baby was born, he was in the hospital for his first couple weeks, and I had severe postpartum depression, and it was really rough. And I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to talk to my team. I didn't want to do parties. The stress of answering phone calls and texts and messages and doing all that. I did not want to put my head out of bed. Sometimes I would just ask Andrew, I said, just tell me the truth right now. Because how I feel is so bad. And I'm in my head too much. And I can't regulate that. Just tell me something that's true, that I can hold on to. And he would. And he never got angry with me. He never got frustrated with me. He supported me when I felt awful. And when I'm telling myself, you're letting all these people down, you're not doing your parties well enough, your sales aren't where they should be, your bookings aren't where they should be, he's like, well, you know what to do. And how can I help? You've got your goals, you've got what you're working for. It's not the end of the world if you don't meet your goals every month. That's okay. But what can I do to help get you into a better place? What can I do to support you through this? What can I do to help? And sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes there wasn't anything he could actually do. I needed to do it. But having him willing to help, having him supporting me, having him letting me break down, and then talking through, well, this is what you can do. You know this business, you love this business is good. Let's talk about this. And sometimes when I couldn't see up or down, and I didn't know, never make a big decision postpartum, and I'm like, we're gonna cut hair, we're gonna quit Norvex, we're gonna do it. He's like, no, let's think about this. and so, I can't say enough about how important it has been for me having a supportive husband, and a husband who has been there for the good times and the bad. I earned a trip 3 years ago, and it was going to be amazing, and I was so excited. He was so excited for me. And then the date switched, and they lined up with my due date, and I had to turn it down. And I sobbed, ugly crying, heartbroken. I can't believe I can't go on this free trip. And he's like, it's okay. You're a rock star. There's going to be another trip, and I'll go with you on that one. So
and you are.
We are. The first trip. We're both going to Maui in February. It will be our first time away since our honeymoon with no kids and no terrible morning sickness. We're going for 10 days.
Awesome. So my journey started about 9.5 years ago, but really, if I were to share about Brad, it would have started well before that. So I feel like the journey of our marriage came well before work and before him having to support me in Norwex. And that's important to you because, or for me to share, because I don't know that I would have had the guts to start Norwex had that foundation not been laid. Because I was so afraid to start this job. I was so afraid to fail, like deathly afraid. I was so afraid to do parties. I was so afraid that he had lost his job, because that's what started my journey. Was I've been home for 16 years, living my dream. Truly, I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be home. I wanted to raise my babies. That was what I, since I was little. And we had that in common, and when we met in college, it was, his mom had said, I want you to raise the kids, and that was kind of the plan, right? The perfect plan. And so when he lost his job, I'd always had this kind of yearning and this feeling and this struggle within me that I know there's something that I want to do outside of being a mom, and that I'll be good at. And every September I would sit down with him and I would say, it was really, so in Minnesota, back up to where I'm from, it wasn't year-round school, it was traditional school. So September meant the kids are leaving me again. She's like, oh, here we go again. Everyone leaves mom, my daughter's here. But that's how it felt to me. I was the mom that never wanted them to leave. I wasn't the mom going, oh good, we can go to lunch now because the kids went back to school. Nope, that wasn't me. It was, oh my God, they left me again. So, and Brad knew that, but there was another piece of me which was, there's something more here. From the time they were little, there's something more here. And so as they got bigger, it was like, okay, I've got this yearning and this struggle and this frustration, and he would sit with me and go, okay, like what is it? What job? And I tried to start my own business, and I, believe it or not, tried to sell cars, which I know, whatever. I know what I was thinking there. Although I could have killed it selling cars, by the way. I just don't give a crap about cars. But it doesn't work when you're not passionate and you're trying to sell cars. But every step of the way. So this is an example of my husband that I'll tell you that sums it up. He doesn't have a job. Our good friend is the one that said, come in and sell cars. Because our friend owned like 15 car dealerships in Minnesota, and we'd go to dinner and he'd say, if you ever go back to work, you're coming with me, you will kill it selling anything. Like so when Brad lost his job, right before Norwex, he called me and he said, you're coming to sell cars with me in Toyota. And it was the #1 dealership in the Twin Cities, and so I was like, all right, whatever, we need a job. So I did it for like 3 weeks. I remember sitting there, and people would be like, doing nothing. And I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm not getting paid. I'm trying to sell these stupid cars, and I've got laundry to do, and I'm not making money. And so I called him. He's home with no job, so excited that I'm making money, right? Like, we need money. And I'm like, meet me for happy hour. I've got this break. Come and meet me for happy hour. I need it. So he drives to Bloomington, where we live, and he sits down in the seat across from me, and I said, here's the deal. I'm done with this. I'm overselling cars. This isn't happening. This is not my calling. Okay, you guys keep in mind, we needed money, and I was making good money selling cars because he was giving me money. So normally, if tables were turned, I'd be like, you go do that job. Like, I don't know what you're feeling right now, but truly, this would be me. You know this. You do that job. That's how I say it. You know what he did? He went, all right. You know yourself. We'll figure it out. You go. Cool. You're done. Not even a waiver. Not even a question. Like every ounce of who I've been from the day I married him, it's been, I believe in whatever you have a vision, whatever you think, I'm on board and I'll follow you. And so 2 weeks after that, maybe 3 weeks after that, right? Something like that, Norwex came to be. And I said, it's not cars, I'm gonna sell microfiber. And he was like, okay. Literally, not even a waiver, like whatever. So all the other little things that came along, which I'm not gonna say, like if any of you guys are sitting here going, my wife is pissed when she gets home because I didn't do this and this and this, and I didn't even know that I had to do this because I've never done that before, and now she's expecting me to like load the dishwasher or do the laundry. We had that. We had all of that. We had the struggles, we had the trying to figure it out with the roles that we had. And it became, well, why don't you just put the list down before you leave and I'll do all of it. Because I don't know what you need, but I want to do everything. I want to do everything you need, and I want to learn and I want to support you. And then it was, I know, let's pack up and move to North Carolina and take our kids away in junior year of high school. And I've got this vision of what this can be. Do you want to come along? Sure, I'll quit my job and I'll follow you. And I mean, literally every single step of the way, from little things like I need you to do stuff you don't want to do to the big things. Brad's followed me along. And I wouldn't even know what it would be like to not have that. I just wouldn't. I mean, that's been the gift that I've had, is just a constant cheerleader. Not with a ton of ideas, not telling me what to do, because that wouldn't go over very well with me. All of their ideas, always brainstorm, don't tell me what to do. Just listen to me and let me do it. And give me the wings, give me the freedom to just go and cast out my vision. So, thank you.
First of all, thank you guys for being patient. She's up here just running. So my name is Jen Carlson, and so I guess our start was a little bit different. So we were probably, I don't know, a year after we got married, and I'm a person who I just like to do different things to find out what I like. And so I told him, I said, yeah, I think I'm gonna do this this Norwex thing. And he's like, oh, okay, like he thought I was kidding. And I was like, no, I think I'm gonna do it. And he's like, okay. I was like, do you care? And he's like, you're not gonna do that, right? I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. And so I signed up anyways, but even though he didn't think I or should do it. And so I didn't, honestly, like I didn't have the support like you guys did off the bat right away, because it was a very part-time thing for me. I was working corporately, I had, you know, everything going, and I was climbing the corporate ladder and all that good stuff. And Tim, we actually got into a fight like multiple times because I'd be gone working 10 hours a day, and then I'd go to a party, so I'd be gone for literally the whole day, and I wouldn't get home until 10 o'clock at night. And so finally, he was like, "You're gone all day long. We don't ever see each other. Like, for what?" So mind you, we had separate checking accounts at that point. So I was kind of stashing away the money so I could go spend it on whatever I want. So I like at that time I liked expensive jeans. So I bought a lot of those. Not anymore, but so I was able to do that. And so finally we have this kind of blowout, and he's like, "Why are you doing this?" He's like, "Just stop doing it. If you know you're just gone all day, and where's the money?" And so I was like, "Okay, I'll start showing you the money." I know. I had to. So then I started showing him the income, what I was making from doing a very part-time gig. And all of a sudden, it was 5 years ago, actually, this month, that I paid for an entire trip to Napa with our friends, Thursday through Monday or whatever, all expenses paid through Norwex. And so now, Tim saw it as, this is sucking money, it's not making money, to, oh wait, now we can go on vacations, like free, not free, but you know, not coming out of the family budget. So then it was, "Oh Jen, when's your next party?" Right? So it went from, "You're leaving again," to, "Oh, when's your next party?" And then we had the opportunity to move to North Carolina, and that was I told Tim. So it's really random, but we actually Tim was traveling with his work to North Carolina, and we were staying at your beach house, and we came down here, and that's right before I found out my corporate was moving to Raleigh, and so we were coming down here, and we stayed at their beach house, and I said, "What do you think if we move down here with my job?" And he's like, "You're kidding, right?" And I was like, "No, like what if we did this?" And so at that point, like my mind was made. I was like, "This is happening. We're gonna move down here. I've got the whole of what's gonna happen and everything." And it took him a little bit to get on board, but at that point he could see the Norwex income and the potential and all that. So then we made the decision to move to here from Wisconsin. And we've been here for 4 years, and so my vision was to be able to quit corporate, have a baby, and then do Norwex full time and be a mom to her. And so we were able to do that, and the only reason though is because we sat down and we said, "Okay, this is gonna be hard. I have to work full time, and I have to do Norwex full time. So we're not gonna see a lot of each other, and we're gonna need to make a plan to make this happen and to see, you know, if it's possible and if I can replace that income." And because of his support, I mean, I would have never been able to do that, right? We had to share everything, all the household responsibilities, all the cooking, all the cleaning, everything, because I couldn't, you know, we're only 2 people, so we had to split all of that. And so we made the decision for me to quit once I was pregnant with her, and I hit my quota of my corporate thing. And so that was 2 years ago that I was able to quit Norwex. And then fast forward now, quit.
She's not with Norwex anymore.
I went back to corporate. It's the best decision I ever did, okay? Quit corporate. But now, so now he knows what happens, right? So it went from, "Why are you leaving the house again, making no money," to, "Jen, when's your next party?" And then it went to, "Jen, how many bookings did you get from your parties?" And then it went to, "Jen, how many people did you sign up?" And now it's, "How many team coordinators are you promoting?" So, because he understands it, so he understands how the business model works. And so if you guys are sitting there thinking like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what any of that means," talk to your wives or your spouses and talk to them and ask those questions, because it's really good to understand how this business model works, so you can understand what somebody is shooting for, what their goals are. Because so just like Laura said, right, your calendars are always going to go up and down. You're always going to have parties, and then you're going to have no parties, and you're going to have parties, and you're going to have no parties. And so this last 6 months was really hard for me because my parties fell apart. And previously to this, I was doing about 10 to 12 parties a month, and so I thought my calendar could never fall apart. Oh, it's not gonna fall apart, it's fine. And all of a sudden, I had like 3 parties in September, 3 parties in October, and I was in my head, I was like, oh, it'll bounce back, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, I don't have to do any extra work. And Tim's like, one day, he just said, when are you gonna go to work? He's sitting here like, go to work. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, what would you tell your team right now, Jen? He's like, what would you tell your team? You need to tell yourself that. Like, yeah, no, I'm talking to me because I was in like denial of this because I was like, oh, no, it's fine, it's fine. And he's like, who are you gonna call tomorrow? And I was like, what? And he said, tell me 25 people who you're gonna call tomorrow, make a list, and I want you to report back to me. The next day, he gets home from work, he's like, all right, how many phone calls did you make?
No way.
Oh yeah, we sat down, it was a big deal. And this is for multiple days in a row, you guys. This is multiple days. But I'll tell you what, I was so excited to say, yes, I reached out to 25 people, and yes, I had somebody say yes to a party. This was the best feeling. So, now, without him, I don't know, I probably would still be in this slump, but I went from a very low parties for the last 6 months to being able to rediscover our why, not really my why, it's our why, because we come up with goals together now, and we sit down and we plan, what do we want the future to look like, and where is this gonna go, where is this gonna take our family, and so now it's talking about, goals for our family, and so it's not my why, it's our why, and that's really made a big difference, so, yeah, so without Tim's support, I definitely would not be where I am right now. Thanks, Tim.